Hi guys, my name is Mallory and I'm Boris. Think of the word America. What are some things that come to mind? Are some of the things that come to mind things as people, or a specific place, or it could also even possibly be a sports team. Some people think of such things as benefits such as free education, freedom, jobs, security. Hundreds of immigrants come to America every day for these key reasons. Unfortunately, most of them are coming here illegally. Many illegal immigrants could become legal immigrants if they just took the proper steps. However, many of them are choosing to stay illegal because, let's face it, there aren't really any consequences for doing so. It's actually quite opposite. We basically reward them with free health care, free education. They don't have to pay as much taxes as we do, and we even give them food stamps. America is in a slump because of illegal immigration for such reasons as school budgets are being cut, illegals are getting education that most legals can't even afford, taxpayers are having to pay more taxes every month, and our jobs are slowly diminishing before our eyes. This is why I'm going to explain to you why illegal immigration has had negative effects on America. First, I want to talk about education. From an article titled "Illegal Immigrants Cause Public School Crisis," the author stated that the government spends an estimated $12 billion annually to educate illegal immigrants. That's $12 billion that we could have used for staff paychecks, new equipment such as books, computers, even physical education equipment. We could have used it for renovations on schools, and we could have paid for extracurricular activities that are now being cut from school systems. Jack Martin is the director of special projects for an organization called the Federation for American Immigration Reform, also known as FAIR. Jack Martin stated that $7.7 billion of the $12 billion spent on educating illegal immigrants could have paid for 31,000 teacher salaries, it could have reduced the student-to-teacher ratios, and it could have also paid for 2.8 million new computers. To me, I believe that educating those who are here legally should take priority over educating those who are here illegally. Jack Martin also stated that state universities are increasingly limiting enrollment, which means that fewer opportunities and less financial aid for U.S. citizens and legal immigrants are being provided. Is it really justified that illegals are getting more educational benefits than legal citizens? Secondly, I want to talk about taxes. Stephen A. Camarota is the Director of Research for the Center of Immigrational Studies. Dr. Camarota states that immigrants as a group do not pay enough taxes to cover their consumption of public services. So in the end, who ends up having to pay for that? Is it the original country in which they came from? No. Is it the government? No. It's the U.S. taxpayers. Jack Martin wrote, "Illegal immigrants cost U.S. taxpayers $113 billion a year. The annual outlay that illegal immigration costs U.S. taxpayers is an average amount per native-headed household of $1,117. I know that may not seem like much, but in the end, it all adds up. Lastly, I want to talk about jobs. As you know, finding a job as it is hard enough. Bless you. Now, imagine competing for that same job with hundreds of illegal immigrants. Illegals and low-skilled workers are continually competing for the same types of jobs. Eric Rourke is the Director of Research for FAIR, and he stated that there's no such thing as an immigrant job. The reality is that immigrants and natives compete for the same jobs, and native workers are at a disadvantage because employers have access to a steady supply of low-wage foreign workers. Meaning that A, the employer doesn't have to pay as much because the illegal immigrants aren't within the tax database, and B, illegals are at an advantage because they're willing to work for less money. Most will say that illegals take jobs that U.S. Americans will not take. Let me rephrase that, sorry. Most will say that illegals only take jobs that us Americans will not take. Although that is true to some extent, it is also false. Some jobs being competed for are such jobs as cleaning services, auto mechanics, transportation services such as taxi drivers or limousine drivers, and even some fast food services. Rourke also states that research done by the Center for American Progress has found that reducing the illegal alien population in the United States by just 1/3 could raise the income of low-skilled workers by $400 a year. Wouldn't helping our citizens be the absolute best case scenario? All in all, illegal immigrants are negatively affecting schools, taxpayers, and our economy. This is why illegal immigrants are placing a negative effect on America.
And Mallory, I'm going to rush because we do have speakers to get in. The proposition's clearly identified. I do think that you have a preview in the presentation, although it needs to be highlighted a little bit more. The series of claims, though, gets signposted in the body of the speech pretty clearly, and that helps quite a bit. I liked especially on that third point the explanation about how the job seekers have an impact on the jobs, not just competing for the jobs, but the impact that it has on wages, for instance, and the availability or access to those jobs. It would be helpful that your data on this was a little bit more thorough. It seemed like on each point you are very reliant on the one organization to give you data, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that organization, but if somebody was doing the response and all of your information comes from one particular source and there was a problem with that source, then your argument is mitigated a little bit, and so I think you need a little bit more diversity in the sources that you're citing. All right, thank you.